Ahead of the ODI series between India and Sri Lanka, there's been a lot of talk about senior players returning back into the fold after, of course, missing out on the T20I series that took place, which, of course, India won 2-1. Now, naturally, there has been a lot of focus on that due to one major reason, is due to the fact that a lot of these senior pros, the likes of KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, were seen as mainstays of the team across formats, but from the T20I series against Sri Lanka onwards, it has seemed like there has been like a major shift in focus towards blooding younger talent, and that has, of course, meant a focus being put on bringing in newer players rather than simply focusing on the elder players, regardless of whatever their contributions to Indian cricket might be. So in that sense, when Rohit Sharma was speaking to the Indian media at Guwahati ahead of course, the press conference, ahead of course, the ODI series that was set to take place, in the press conference, he said something that was very, very interesting about, of course, his future in T20Is that naturally would get a lot of people talking. It was something that in many ways, most people would have found as a surprise, but is in a lot of other ways noteworthy nevertheless. He has said, and I quote, "We will see what happens after the IPL. I have not decided to give up the format." Now, when he's talking about the format, he means, of course, T20Is, and it does go to show you that despite the fact that he is not actually, as things stand, he's not seen as someone who may be of much use or importance in the T20I format for India or by the Indian selectors. He has not given up on representing India in T20I cricket and is saying that, look, we'll see what happens after this year's edition of the Indian Premier League. I, personally speaking, have not given up on the format at all. Now, it of course does show that, Rohit, it's a full credit has to be given that even though it does seem like a lot of him and the other senior players seem down and out as far as T20Is go, he doesn't seem too keen to let go of this format without a fight. And really, if you think about it, it has been a bit of a fight for him this year when you're looking at, or not just this year, it has been something of a fight for him since, he's been appointed T20I or captain of India across formats. Let's quickly actually look over how exactly things have worked out in that regard. So obviously in 2021, he became India's captain. Remember, it was initially just T20Is, then ODIs. Then he was named India's skipper across format. But what was the major problem when it came to that entire timeline is that, in many ways, Rohit's accession to the throne of Indian captaincy was seen as a worthy one, but his own form dipped, and that caused a lot of concerns for the Indian team because you had a captain whose form had actually dropped so badly that there was no sureties about how well he would or would not perform come the big tournaments. In fact, then came the big tournaments. Before the T20 World Cup, you had the Asia Cup, and India unfortunately had a disappointing campaign in both of them. So they were seen as finals to win the Asia Cup at the very least, but they got knocked out in the Super Fours. And then in the T20 World Cup, they made it somehow to the semi-finals, but were shellacked by England in the semis and, made a very, very limp exit from the team. And obviously that is something that affected perceptions of not just Rohit Sharma, the player, but also Rohit Sharma, the captain. And that is why when, this news broke that maybe the Indian selectors are looking towards a new future in T20Is, one that doesn't include the likes of Rohit, Virat Kohli and KL Rahul. And then news further came about that Hardik Pandya would be named the new T20I captain. Now, to be fair, Hardik did lead India in the series against Sri Lanka, but the simple fact is it hasn't been made official as of yet whether or not he's India's new captain going forward. We don't know if he's permanently been named T20I captain or if this is something that, is just a temporary thing because you're doing workload management for players. And that's what makes Rohit's statement even more intriguing. Is he actually not just talking about giving up on the format, or is he also saying that, look, my captaincy is not really done? It is a possibility because, as I said, the board have not officially named, Hardik Pandya as the full-time T20I captain. Yes, there's an expectation that it is going to happen. There's an expectation that it will happen, but it hasn't actually happened yet. And Rohit saying that he's keen to play on in the format says a lot about the fact that him, as well as others like potentially Kohli and KL, are still keen to remain all format players for India, even if, or at least keep themselves available, even if they don't feel, or the selectors don't feel that they would be the right people or the right fit for this format any longer. Now, what do you guys think about Rohit's latest admission? Do you think it's right that he should keep himself available, or do you think he should say that, look, I'm done with T20Is, I'm going to keep focused on Test cricket and ODI cricket, because you have a World Test Championship coming up and the ODI World Cup as well? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the bell icon so you know we're going live or uploading a new video for you guys. Then you can also go ahead and follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and last but not least, don't forget to download the SportsTech app. Thank you all once again for joining us on this breaking news update. We'll be seeing you again very, very soon, but for now, goodbye.